Welcome back to the CA Women's Basketball Insider, and we are happy as always to be joined by Monica Moore. Monica, the CA women's basketball standings are really tight after the first 4 weeks. So let's take a look at the two teams that are riding the longest win streaks. William and Mary went 3-8 against a challenging non-conference slate, but the Tribe has caught fire as of late, winning four in a row to get to 5-2 in CAA play. What has impressed you with the way they have played?
Well, first of all, you have to remember that this seems very similar to what happened last year, where William and Mary got off to a 4-7 non-conference slate, and then they went 12-6 in conference play. I think the Tribe does such a good job using that non-conference schedule to get ready for conference play. They learn a lot of lessons, they develop a lot. The coaching staff does such a good job getting them ready for conference play, and we're seeing that right now. And if you look at the two big wins that they had this week, Towson and UNCW, one thing stood out to me more than anything else. If you look at the Towson game, the Tribe was up 20-9 at the end of the first quarter. If you look at the UNCW game, William and Mary went on a 22 run in the second quarter. You have to take care of business early on. You have to set the tone. You cannot take a quarter off in this league. And I think that William and Mary set themselves up for success early on because they certainly faced adversity in the Towson game. Towson came back. Shots weren't falling for the Tribe. They had to lock in defensively and find a way to win. And so that strong start was huge. Now, hats off to Bella Nascimento. What a week she had in league play. She obviously scored her 1,000th career point, which is huge. But the thing that stood out to me more than anything else was at the end of that Towson game, she wanted the ball in her hands. She wanted to take over. She wanted to provide the scoring. In this big run in conference play, she has upped her scoring to over 17 points, which is above what she was doing in non-conference play. You have to love that out of a player that wants to be the go-to player. And also, Tika Solomon, oh my goodness, she's averaging 6.6 points per game. What a week she had against the Seahawks, 18 points, 9 rebounds, also had double digits against the Tribe. If they can get that level of production out of Solomon, that's going to be huge as conference play continues. Now, it's not going to get easier for the Tribe. They've got a big week, games on slate with Campbell and Elon, but they're one of the teams I really have my eyes on this week.
Yeah, absolutely. The Tribe have been playing great. But another team that we can focus on are the Drexel Dragons. And it's not a surprise to see them near the top of the standings once again. But Amy Mallon had to fit a bunch of new pieces into the rotation after winning the CAA title last March. The Dragons have been up and down a little bit against a tough early season slate, but they made a huge statement last week by rallying past Charleston and then rolling over Elon. Why is Drexel playing so well right now, Monica?
Well, I will say that the game against Charleston, that was one of the best games last week. That was so fun to watch. It was a nail biter. And you have to remember, Drexel, they erased a 10-point deficit late in the game in order to get the W in that contest. So that's huge in terms of being able to lock in. And for those players that are returning from that CAA tournament championship team, that experience really helps you in big games like that. Now, Amaris Baker, we've talked a lot about her on the Women's Basketball Insider this year, rightfully so. She was tremendous in that contest. If you want to talk about a clutch player that wants the ball in her hands at the end of the game, you can look no further than Amaris Baker. She knocked down the three-pointer with just about a minute to go to give Drexel the lead. And then she scored 4 points in the last 21 seconds of that game. She is having a tremendous season, leading the league in points per game, leading the league in minutes per game. There's a lot on her shoulders, but she's getting help from teammates as well. Kara McCormick had a big week, upping her level of production, double-digit performances in both of her outings this week. And Chloe Hodges is just a player that I absolutely love. She fills up the stat sheet. It feels like every statistical category. So that was a big statement win for Drexel, especially given how close the CAA standings are. And then you also look at what they were able to do against Elon. That game was a little different. They came out on fire, up 35-13 at the half. Chloe Hodges with her second career double double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. But this is a team that knows how to win. They have lots of talent. Hats off to the Dragons.
And you talked about it. Standings have been really tight, and we've got some interesting games on the schedule this week, including Stony Brook visiting Charleston on Thursday. What do you think about that one?
I'm very excited about that game. So first of all, let's look at what Stony Brook did this past week because they're 5-3 in league play. They got a big win over Campbell. That was a tight game. So they're riding high right now. Charleston, as we talked about, they're looking to rebound a bit after their loss to Drexel, but these are teams that are 5-3 and 4-3 in league play respectively. So when you look at the early standings, that one is going to have massive implications. So that's one you absolutely have to tune into this week.
And another one that I've got circled on my calendar is on Sunday with Elon hosting Monmouth. What do we think about that one?
Well, first of all, oh my goodness, Monmouth, what a week they had with the big clutch win over North Carolina A&T. They handed the Aggies their first conference loss of the year. I love what we saw out of the Hawks in that contest. Damaris Rodriguez was absolutely on fire. Belle Cramble controlling in the low post. The post production in the paint was a critical factor for Monmouth, as was their play off the bench. They outscored the Aggies 17-0 in terms of bench scoring. So I think that's going to be a fun game. As we talked about, Elon looking to rebound as well. Two teams that are neck and neck in terms of the conference standings. That game means a lot to both teams. So that's another one that everybody's going to want to watch.
Monica, as always, thank you for your time, and we look forward with checking in with you next week. Fans, you can follow Women's CA Hoops by following us on X at CA Basketball and CA Sports on Instagram and Facebook. Have a great weekend, everybody.